You know, I'd probably go searching for a big mystical eye that watched over the world as well. Hello and welcome to Novel Narratives. I'm your host, John. Today, we will be looking at Robert Jordan's The Eye of the World. The Eye of the World is the first installment of the Wheel of Time series. Published in 1990, this book follows the adventures of three young men after their village is attacked. As the three and their group are being pursued by the Dark One, they eventually come upon the Eye of the World and basically set up a chain of events that, in the later books, are going to help decide the fate of the world. Overall, this is an enjoyable book. Since this is the first of a series, it does kind of set you up to go along the rest of the series and read along and find out what happens. I was in high school when I started reading these books, and it's really part of what got me really into reading again. I was into reading before, but it really got me going again. There are two minor things for me. The first is that in the beginning, especially, the books read a lot like J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. Of course, if you're a fan of Lord of the Rings like me, that's not a bad thing, but it does sort of remind me of that. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what Robert Jordan was aiming for, especially in the early chapters. And secondly, since this is a series that's continuing, it does sort of set you up to continue buying and reading these books, which isn't a bad thing. It's just that sometimes some of the later books aren't quite as good as some of the earlier ones, but that's another show. Still, this is a very enjoyable book, and there's plenty of action, and yeah, it's a good book. I liked it. I would give it 4 out of 5 stars. Next week, I figure we'll take a bit of a turn and check out Victor Hugo's Les Miserables. At least I think that's how you pronounce it. I apologize if I butchered the name. But that's about all we have time for this week. I'm John, and I hope you keep reading. See ya.